Oh, you can't see us. Oh, there we are. Hey, all right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're manning the ship tonight. All right, as we should always. Anyway, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Fourth to those that celebrate the Fourth. Okay, yeah, that's part of what our conversation is gonna be about tonight. Those that don't choose to celebrate the Fourth and all that wonderful stuff. But all is well here in LA, and thank you for tuning into the what? The truth behind the truth. Now, my counterpart, hubby here, he's a little dragging today because he has been working his butt off, y'all. I'm telling you.
And I look like I've been really working. Like, oh my goodness, I feel a high. I look like I've just got out of a cave somewhere. So please, pardon the look. It's looking terrible these days.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, it becomes down to a price that we pay for success. You dig in deep and you really try to.
Where there is no such thing as work-life balance. Work has consumed so much right now. So, this culture, I don't know who they're talking about. I know there might be younger people out there who are balancing without having to deal with work, but some of us who have a lot of stuff to pay down, it's consuming us to the T. So I'm one of those people that is not part of that culture because it doesn't apply to me because my job consumes a whole lot of me.
And you're bringing up a good point, and I think that's because, with our series that we're in, navigating your life in America. And we chose to stay in that particular title or series or whatever for the next, several shows because it does speak to what's going on right now in so many ways, whether it's politics, and it gives us a room to share in the politic arena or your personal situations, your job. Excuse me for dressing in front of y'all. I don't like the way I'm looking at my collar. From that particular perspective and what you're dealing with, what I'm dealing with, in the places that we work here in LA, and it's not LA, it's the job market completely. I mean, and what we're all having to contend with. I refuse, and I think typically we refuse to blame the current administration for the work that's involved and all these other type of things, which we mentioned last week's show about the indicated, how did they say that last week? Oh, the black jobs, and I think if you guys didn't catch that last week on our show, you need to go back and look at last week's show because we kind of dug into that a little bit more. But anyway, back to my point. It is a requirement, at this point to really be navigating, where you are, in life, I mean, it's a difficult time for a lot of people, but it hasn't anything to do with the administration. And I wish that we as people would get away from trying to blame, President Biden for what's going on, and you thinking that by putting, that man back in the office again, that things are going to change for you, and you're really living in a farce. For that instance, we have spent almost 2 years now talking to everyone about the, what goes on and the potentiality, and there's so much information now that's coming out about 2520. I think Taraji mentioned about
2025.
I'm sorry,
Project 2025.
Project 2025. Last week on the BET Awards, because he was trying to warn, the African American, Black community, people of color, whatever category you want to put yourself in.
Well, a lot of people who are finding out about this is calling it fear mongering.
Wow.
The thing about it is, I don't care what you want to call it. But if it's in a manual and it has a website, it's something to look at.
It is.
And I don't care what you would call it, fear mongering. It is information that is put out by the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is a Republican institution.
Thank you.
It is also an organization that has endorsed Clarence Thomas and other high-profile right-wing conservative people, and I think that's something to be investigated. So if you want to vote for Trump and that's your prerogative, go ahead, let go and let have. But I'm always like this. If there's information that needs to be had that I need to read and I need to understand what somebody, because to be honest with you, Trump is not even bringing. And I wish people would be real about this situation too. He doesn't come with any type of ideas or plans about what it is to come with his presidency. He had no ideas to help out the working class. And this is my thing, and I'm going to get off my soapbox. The working class people, who work these jobs that consisted of them being in the public sector, cooking food and doing all this other, not indentured servants. I ain't need to go that far, but who are in servitude to helping out mankind in whatever crazy ways that they need help with.
Right.
I wish the working class people would vote for their needs instead of what they at least want when it boils down to the agendas that they support. I think as the working class people, you can't blame Biden or anybody for voting for the very people who put you in the same situations every year. Right. These people, they stay in Congress, they stay in the Senate, they make careers out of it, they build stock out of it, they get backdoor deals from it, and working class people every day are suffering because of it. And you are the ones, and I hate to say it, but you can't blame the pimp for pimping you.
Oh, well, okay.
If we were being raped today, we like being raped.
All right.
I hate to say it, the working class people like being raped. If you get tired of dealing with high inflation, high gas prices, high groceries, why would you vote for somebody who is an industrialist, who believes that the corporations have the bright idea, no regulations, no anything? Why would you support a party that believes in that? And I believe in the American dream. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody should pull themselves up from their bootstraps. But I believe it should be fair.
Yes.
But hell, at the end of the day, if you don't believe that it's that it should be fair, and you believe that the big man should work over the middleman or the little man, then hey, that is your prerogative. That is what you believe that your American dream should look like. But everybody else don't like to be tossed over, used over, bent over.
Okay.
I mean, shoot. At the end of the day, we all want to live with stability, live with at least feel like you have come off your job doing what you were supposed to do and living that balanced life that they blame the lazy young folks for wanting to have. Right. Because I don't think you're lazy when you want to have some form of a life after work. Right. But to be honest with you, you have some, I hate to say this, but older heads who believe that no, it shouldn't be like that, but it should. We should have some balance.
Wow, I'm gonna say wow again because you unpacked a whole lot of. You open up that luggage and pull all that stuff out of there. But it is so true, and I like the way your point of references about that. I mean, the purpose here on The Truth Behind the Truth, guys, is really, really to inform, to impact, to help, to elevate, to move forward, to prosper. Okay, and give wisdom. Okay, we love you guys. Okay, we may not know all of you guys, but we love you by the fact of that you are a human being and you're an existing human being, and we want to see humanity grow into a better place of understanding. Number one, yourself, and then if we can get together to know ourselves, then collectively we'll come together as a great unity. But if we don't find ways to get past all of what you just said and make that a part of our life, we will never get through the things that we need to get through because we'll be all at odds. And next thing life as will be over. Your loved ones or whatever be standing around, a hole or on the boat, or if you decide to get cremated or whatever, wishing you well off into the spirit. But if you're going to be here, stop taking up space and let's make some time, make some things happen. Because there's a lot of reason to take up space. Okay, a lot of people are taking up space, believe me. But you need to, and I'm saying you need, I hate to tell people you need to, but I'm saying you need to. You really need to take a look at your life and what's going on. This is why I said at the top of the show, we have named these series Navigating Your Life in America. There's a lot of navigating. You mentioned, so eloquently about the work situation and stuff. So let me kind of impact that a little bit more. So let's talk about, because the climate of President Biden seems to be just the existing news factor right now. Everybody, not everybody, but majority of people are.
You should be offended these days.
Well, yeah,
because the news people have not become ageist.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But it's the popular thing. it's a proper thing for people. When you are a mature person, and when you're a mature person, you tell the striving to become mature. I'm being nice about that. Striving to be, mature, that you just live long enough. Because you just live long enough. Because you live long enough, you'll find out that what those that are in that mature category are going through. Now, I admit there are things that President Biden does look feeble in doing. Okay, that's just plainly obvious. And one thing is, with being actors here, the camera doesn't lie. Camera catches everything.
Yeah.
Okay, it catches everything, and you can't say the camera was lying. Because those of you that look skinny, and you really ain't skinny. Okay, but you lying to yourself on what you see in the camera. Okay, but just throw that in there. But anyway, so yes, he is looking feeble. Okay, at different times. Yes, it does, because the camera is catching him at moments. He may be staring off, or whatever the case may be. Now, for coming from a young person, okay, I get it. I get it. But the quality of the substance when he is processing it and when he comes forward is what your main thing should be more concerned about. Okay, and what's coming out of it, and what those moments of legislation that he is really putting in his mind to articulate to you in a different way, so that you'll have clarity to move forward in your life, which we're talking about. But for you to think that he should be doing cartwheels and jumping flips all over all every time he's on camera, well, I think it's a bit much. Gotta be kind of like asking your grandparents to do the same thing. So is that fair to ask your grandparents to do it? And some of you guys out there have grandparents the same age that he is, or maybe a little older or whatever. And the vitality does shift. Your vitality, I'm going to speak to young people. Your vitality, when in your 20s, changes when you get in your 30s. Okay, men, and you know what I mean. It starts to change when you get in your 30s. All right, women, you know what I mean. When you start getting into things, change. Your body, yes. Between 30 and 70 or 30 and 80 is a difference, a long time, but your body does change. Okay, and you just can't help it. It's the law of what it is. We were born to die. At the end of the day, when you come out of the womb, you start the process of getting back to the tomb.
Well,
okay.
Well, Marlene Dietrich says, "Time for America to grow up." This was years ago. If you don't, this is how old I am, y'all. I am very old in spirit. But Marlene Dietrich was a very famous actress in the 30s and 40s and 50s. But there was an interview where she said, America likes to tout itself as a young country, and it's time for America to grow up. And to be honest with you, today it's time for us to have been already at this time been grown up.
Right.
But this is a culture. See, Biden represents something that in America we do not like to see. We hate to see old, and we hate to see feeble. Our culture is about being vigorous, being youthful, being fast, being entertaining. We believe in everything old is out, everything new and young is in.
Right.
And I hate to say it, Trump represents with his charismatic way of doing things, which is basically lying.
Right.
But he represents a youthful vigor at his age. He represents that sense of urgency and that he has that energy to provoke people to be on, or to look at him and to be on his side. And throw away who do not represent what we represent when it boils down to certain things that we like. Biden, I will say this now, I believe in term limits. I believe in term limits, because Biden been in this game too damn long. But he is not the only one. There are people in our Congress, in our Senate, who have been there since the Great Depression, and they need to leave. And I blame the young people. I blame people my age, truth behind the truth, who do not take out time to go in and take their place. Because when you have the energy and the ideas to do certain things, you should get involved. But I believe there are old institutions that keep young, bright minds out.
That's a good point.
I do believe in that.
We're going to keep this conversation going when we come back real quick from a break. This is getting good. We shall in a minute.
STARZ. It's Junkstars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junkstars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junkstars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you for tuning into the Truth Behind Truth. You see, we were talking during the commercial because we were trying to bring up the information to make it even more wiser for you guys, you know. And then, but piggybacking, you know what? What just happened? What just happened here? Okay, I don't know. All right, guys. Well, a little technical difficulty
here.
A
little bit of a technical situation.
Yeah, something happened here. I don't know what happened, but we back. Whatever happened with it. Hey, that's what technical difficulty. See, somebody young set up something and it didn't work right. So now the old people got to correct it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but back to what you were saying and the youthfulness that I truly believe that America needs to have. We need to have this youthfulness, you know, and it needs to be a part of what to move us forward, because there is a lot of complacency in government. You know, and it's like, well, you know what, the grandfathers and the grandmothers and also have moved in, okay, and once they moved in with these old ideas, they stay there. You know, it's just like it's just like going to visit your grandmama wherever you're from. You know, you could be from Nebraska or from the South or whatever, and they've established a certain way of living. You know, and it's been comfortable for them, so they don't want to change that.
No, they don't.
You know, but they don't realize is that evolution is very, very, very important. You know, and if we're not evolving, then we said it on the show previously, we're stuck. And if we're stuck, it's a problem. And I'm really seeing now that through all of this rigmarole that's going on in the America, we're stuck. We have people that are stuck in religion. We're stuck. We have people that are stuck in ethnicity. We have people that are stuck behind Donald Trump. We have people that are stuck in the Democratic Party. They're stuck, you know, in all these. We're stuck. You know, but we're not stuck to the right thing. We're stuck to so many different ideas, and then we want those ideas to be the status quo. So let's break that down just for a couple of minutes. Okay. So looking at why we're stuck. Okay, let's look from the spiritual or religious perspective. You know, I love to go there. Churchgoers, Christians by name, whatever the case may be, you're stuck. Okay, you're stuck and fixated that you have the absolute word for everybody on this planet, which you don't. Okay, but you're stuck. Okay, you're stuck because you don't want to understand any other ideas that could help you evolve into a better relationship with your creator. Okay, because you got to say, well, the Bible don't say this, but okay, the Bible says a lot of things. Okay, and it's misquoted drastically. Okay, drastically it's misquoted. Okay, but if you choose to be stuck in that particular idea of living for yourself, then be stuck for yourself. But as the rest of society moves forward in evolution of themselves, do not speak things against them. And don't say that they're sinners. Don't say that they're being controlled by an enemy or a spirit, because they're not. It's because they've chosen to elevate their mind into another place. All right, next point. White House needs to be elevated. There should be a term limit. The presidency does have a term limit. It's 8 years. Okay. And 2 terms, basically 8 years. Basically 8 years. Okay. Now, what I do think is that after eight years, not 4, but after 8 years, if you have the vitality, okay, to rerun and presenting a better agenda, then I think you should have the opportunity to run as president again. But that will only encompass of a person of a young age. Okay. Moving on to Senate, the Senate, the Congress, the Supreme Court. I just paused there for the Supreme Court, the joke of our lives right now. All of that should be term limits. Okay, Senate, I will give Congress and Senate 10 years. Okay, because I do realize it takes time to get a bill passed, to get all those type of things to be done or work on. If you're working on something, but after 10 years, you need to go. If you have not helped America evolve as they should, you need to go. You need to go. Well, our question, time up, you didn't get done. I'm sorry. You need to get out, stay out 4 years, and you can get voted back in. But you need to go. What's your point, man?
Well, I mean, and I agree. I think, honestly, we do need term limits within our Supreme Court, within our Senate, and with our Congress. And I will use Clarence Thomas and oh my goodness, Thurgood Marshall. I used them as the example. Thurgood Marshall, God bless the man. He opened the door for African American justices, and he was the first African American Supreme Court judge to sit on that bench.
Right.
But he stayed too long.
Right. Okay.
And because of it, the Republicans was looking for his exit. And when they looked for his exit, they put in his place a buffoon. And because there is no term limit on there, now we're stuck with a buffoon. We're stuck with this guy until he either gets sick, have a stroke, or just die. But that is a clear example of why it is so important that Americans really understand how our institutions are ran, because we're on the precipice of a new government right now. You know, a lot of people, and I keep telling people this, y'all don't understand. Democratic countries are so fragile. They are so fragile because you have people within those countries who do not understand the power that they have with their voice.
Right.
They only understand that they feel like their leaders have the upper hand, which causes those leaders to fall in dictatorship, because the people have forgotten that they're with the Democratic government, that they have that right to go and make change through votes, through their voice. They can they can complain, they can do whatever they need to do to get things in order. But with a dictatorship, totalitarian government, that is impossible. And we are heading towards a totalitarian government because the people have given people, for example, like Biden or Trump or Bush or Obama or Clinton, too much power, thinking that they can make the change when we have a Congress and we have a Senate. We have a Congress and we have a Senate again, who are making the laws, who are writing the laws and voting the laws. And when those laws are passed through the Congress and the Senate, they're sent to the president to sign off or to veto. We have, as Americans, forgotten the middleman. We forgot about these sorry ass congressmen and these sorry ass senators who have made it their business to make their lives easier than the lives of the average American that they are up there to work, that they are working for. Now, I don't understand how anybody can sit there and, especially from a place of West Virginia, which I know is one of the poorest states in America, because you got other states like Mississippi and other places, Arkansas. Those are some poor ass states. But why would you vote somebody in that keeps you in that chokehold? What is the point of voting for the very same person that prior they're not doing what is worth for making your lives better? We know that those people are sitting there not actually doing nothing, but you still vote for them to go up there and do nothing. That's why I said in the beginning, you cannot blame the pimp for pimping the people. You can't blame them. I mean, if you're gonna keep voting me in, then you must like me pimping you.
Apparently.
And that's what Americans are being right now. We're being a pimp.
Again, you unpacked a whole lot, even that what you just mentioned. It's okay. The voting process is something that I think that majority of people right now are not educated on as they should be. And not people my age as well. I mean, that they're not educated on the, or they don't bother to take time, or they think it's a waste of time. They want to get, caught up in it, as I've heard people say. And, so it's they're, as you said, they're setting the stage for a new government, a new type of government. And it would be so just eased right on up under them that they really don't have any idea what happened. And that's very, very, very sad that we don't pay attention to our political system or what's going on, because it does affect your life. And the only time that it really will pay attention is when it has affected life and they can do nothing about it.
And that's where it's headed.
And it is heading that particular direction. I mean, Yeah, there's a lot of things that we could be talking about right now. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, but it is so crucial to pay attention to conversations like that. Everybody out here on these airways are not telling you like this. Okay, they're not providing that solid information that is very beneficial for you in that aspect of, you know, as we're talking about leadership and moving toward a place of better leadership. This young lady is dynamic. Okay, Miss Jasmine Crockett.
She is the hope.
She is the hope and the future of what we need to be seeing in America. Okay.
What did Maya Angelou say? She is the hope of the slave.
Oh, wow.
She is the hope of the slave.
Wow.
I hate to go there, but she is.
Wow.
Because as African Americans, we have fought so hard and did so much for what this girl is doing right now. But then you have those who have washed over our struggle. Like this. Yeah, that too. But he ain't the only one, because we have black faces that have washed over our struggles with foolishness.
Right.
You know, and I look at somebody like Clarence Thomas, who from the Geechee tribe, the Geechee tribe.
Go ahead, Geechee tribe. No, the Geechee.
Whatever you want to call him. But he's from that tribe.
Right.
And you have turned your back on that tribe.
Right.
That is right there is very telling, but he's not the only one.
Right.
And there are a bunch of people, black people who have allowed white hands to wash our history.
Right.
And I'm just aghast.
Right. Or I can totally agree.
I'm aghast by that.
You know, to your point, and then as I'm kind of pointing out here, you know, celebrating the ones that are out there that are really trying to make it that happen to be people of color. Okay. You know, Governor Westmoreland. Okay, and the mayor of Baltimore. Yes, this was. I mean, this is a particular shot. Was the day that the bridge had failed and what have you, and they took a moment really to help them see that there was an embracement of between the two of them, and the words of affirmation that they were laying over all those people's lives. But this man is working hard to be an example of what true leadership can be, and not even based upon what he looks like, but he wants to be an example of true leadership. So I'm glad to see that we do have individuals that are out there that are making the change and being a part of the decision and bringing you to it. Because we got to keep this out of office.
And some others like him. There are some others like him. He's just the face of those people, like your old man from Detroit, Kilpatrick.
Yes.
I mean, people who believe in corruption, believe in taking from the little man to, you know, that is the problem. That is for those, and I say this, is the idea of the American dream.
Right.
You know? But I always go back to that, oh my God, that lyric from Billie Holiday. Those God bless the child that got his own. You know, the strong gets more while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets never make the grade.
Wow.
That song, and I tell people, when you see, music is so powerful. Music is powerful.
Open that door for me, please. Go ahead.
Music, I don't listen to everything that's out there these days because it's not speaking to me.
Right.
But when I listen to that song, God Bless the Child, that song is so relevant to this day. Billie Holiday wrote that too. It's relevant because it's the truth.
Yes.
And people, God bless the child that has his own, because there are many people out there who are taking from people that, and it's those people that don't deserve it.
Right.
But it's people who are independent, who are working their tails out, who are trying to make do, who are trying to pay their bills, who are trying to be good citizens. Those are the ones that we should be blessing. But then we have people like Trump and Diddy and whoever that we like to raise up, red, sexy red. We like to raise those people up because we see the corruption and we think it is attractive.
Right.
That is the American dream.
Right.
Being corrupt and being so just really ridiculous at the end of the day. And I hate to say it, that is, to be honest with you, is the reason why we're falling into the abyss of going into a world that we do not know of, because we have lost our principles. We have lost our principles. And, you know, and I have to remind myself to turn off the mess. You have to remind yourself that this ain't all that is going on right now. You know, this gender war situation. You know, the reason why some people do not want Biden to win is because of Kamala Harris being a woman and being Indian and being black and all of this stuff. See, Forget about what she has done to improve the lives of certain of Americans.
Right.
But let's talk about the fact that she's a woman.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. We'll be right back. We are unpacking tonight, guys. Right. Navigating your life in America. All right. We'll see you right back in just a second.
If you need a pickup car, Junk Stars. Yeah. If you need a dumpster or a demolition car, Junk Stars. Yeah. Call 844-55-STARZ. Junk Stars. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
Call Junk Stars.
you need dumpster rentals,
Call Junk
All right, and we are back, guys. Once again, thank you for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Hey, the duo team. Want to send a shout out to our brother Charles tonight. I mean, he's had a family reunion tonight. Darnell has been back and forth on the road. I guess they'll be both back with us next week. We'll have our team back and bounce. But you know what? You guys have not had the originators, not the duplicators, but the originators of Truth Behind the Truth. In a while that we've been sitting, in and just kind of bouncing off one another because we've opened that platform, for our guests and our team members. But hey, it's gonna be what you like, baby. I love it. So, but back to what we were talking about. So I want to just dig a little bit more, then we're going to get into a little bit of entertainment and interaction, what happened in the BET Awards, what have you this past week. But I do want to speak to unity, and I want to speak to unity to everybody, okay? If we are as Americans, if you want to remain to be American, great. It's questionable on my behalf. I can't speak, but I think we're together on that. Because if that man get in office, passport in hand, Canada, here we come. Because y'all can stay here and be under a totalitarianship, a dictatorship, a rulership, a ship, and a shit ship. Okay, if you want to, but I ain't gonna be here because I'm not gonna be a partner. I know he ain't gonna be here, so I ain't gonna be here. So I'm gonna let y'all have that. But my point is that in order to prevent things, is the power that you have in number one in your pen, an old speaking pen, but the power of your keyboard. You need to start writing your senators. You need to start putting your voice out there and collectively creating things within your community, collectively allowing that community to spread a little bit toward to the next community and the next community, and say we have got to get unity together. Okay, this is the only way that we can get the shift that needs to happen to get the shift to get the shit out of Washington. Okay, and get the right people in place, which is we need youth. We need youth. We need to speak to this younger generation. Hey, we may need a few hip hop, the right type of hip hoppers. Okay, not that garbage. Okay,
not industry plants.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that, because that's
the problem. Industry
right.
plants.
Industry plants, and that creates garbage. Okay, and you can see the garbage from the Stallion to the Red to the Naj to the what's that other chick name? The one that want to grab her breasts and get on camera and hoogie and all that.
And they ain't the only ones, Tiger and all these other people.
All these other people that really have honestly devalued themselves first, and then on the other side it has devalued women. Okay, we have been into this. I have told you women how I feel about that, and some of y'all, I still go through Instagram. Y'all still doing the same shit over and over again. There was out there, and I didn't want to get into this, but there was a video that came up on, I don't know, it was Twitter, or what is it? Not Twitter, but X. Twitter. That this girl, okay, God knows, she was at a concert and they called her up, and the guy was laying on the ground. Okay, but guess what? Guess what color she was? Hello, okay. On the ground at the concert, and she was just trying to see how fast and how low she could twerk on his dick. Okay, and then the rest of them looking at, I bet she could tear me up. I bet.
Did you see Essence Fest this past week?
No, what happened? I didn't catch that.
Essence Fest is It's turned into something else these
Oh,
days. I mean, listen. I just want to say, you cannot blame anybody when you put out content and craziness like that, and really it will want somebody to expect or to respect you. Now I don't, and people think respectability was it respectability politics. Some people do not care for that, and it is old school politics. It's something that during the civil rights movement or during the times when we were trying to get in the door is what we needed to get over that threshold. Diane Carroll told Jasmine Guy this, and I saw this in a recent interview with Jasmine Guy. Diane Carroll told Jasmine Guy, really do not judge those who came before you, because when you judge those who have come before you, those people have because of them going through what they went through, now you have the right to sit where you can sit. Or at where you can at without having to come to the back, without having to come through the back door or to be disregarded as just something else. And to see our entertainers, the way they are navigating this entertainment industry is very disrespectful to how far we have had to put ourselves up there. Now, I believe Charles said this the last show. If you don't like it, turn the channel. And I believe in that too. I don't have to watch everything and see everything that I don't like. But it is very hard to not be so disappointed because as a people, we did so much to uplift our image, to elevate our image. And to see that tribe come up out of the corners of the darkness and now appealing to a mainstream mass audience that believe that because they are like that, we are all like that. And I tell people all the time, Black folks, we don't have the luxury of being individuals. We don't have the luxury of individualism. Really, Black folks do not have the luxury of individualism. If you go out the door acting and saying or being a certain way, that means that they're looking at me to be the same. I remember going to school and some random person would say, "Do you like this rapper?" And I'm like, "I don't like hip hop." Well, you're Black, aren't you?
Ooh, wow.
And I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm going to leave it there.
Just draw pause.
Leave it there.
What you just said.
We're gonna leave it there and keep it moving. Leave it there and keep it moving.
Goodness, let's just draw pause and listen to what you just said. Do you guys get that? I mean, do you really understand what he just said? And I know we're speaking directly in this sense, in this area of the African American experience, but honestly, it's the root of all life. It's the root of our life because our Caucasian, our white audience, you guys know it may not be the Black experience, but it still becomes the white experience because you have the same thing going on in your family. You have the same thing. You have the same behaviors. When they came out with the Gothic look, oh my God, y'all are about to die. Y'all about, oh, my child's embracing the devil, and this, that, and the other, that, and the third, and it spread like wildfires. Then it spread so much that it started attracting other cultures to be a part of it, and it's a line that happened through music.
Trump spelling.
Just hold your line.
Right.
He believes that he has the Black vote because of him having a mugshot and saying that Black people he appeals to Black people because they understand about going to jail and being locked up, they understand that they are on the lowest totem pole of the judicial system. And that right there is really one of those things I keep saying. We as Black people do not have the luxury of individualism, because when Trump can put us all in a bag and say, Black folks, y'all know about mugshots because y'all all have one. Keep it moving. I'm just going. Hey, Darnell, how you doing? How you doing, Darnell?
Listen, I'm running like a freight train, honey. They put us up over here because it's like the flights, the delays, and it's more than an ocean. But only what you were saying. So it was something that came out on today. I actually sent it out in the thing, and I did a little reach on it. So I think they're trying to tell us something without telling us something because they're waiting until after the summer. or whatever the case may be. I think that, and also the other candidate has been hinting at the factor of her needing to come in and step in, and she's going to be the thing that helps be able to save this whole aspect of it, because clearly Kamala is not going to be that person. They don't feature her like that.
Right. You know, let me open that up with what you're just saying. And everybody that's watching, I thank you so much. I see a lot of you guys who joined us tonight. Thank you on my page of watching this, whatever. Thank you for taking the time out. But you know, I want to hear from you guys just a little bit more. If you want to put it in the comments, I'll try to address it tonight. What do you think? Okay, and it doesn't matter what your political perspective is. All right. Do you feel that President Biden needs to step down and put somebody else in his place? Now, I know logistically it's not a good decision because we don't know what could happen in the process of that. And I know that if you are a Democrat, you don't want to open up the door for that man to get in place. Now, if you're on the other side of that, I understand you may want to get Trump in place. I get it. Okay. I got a brother that's leaning. I got a uncle that's leaning. Okay. So I'm kind of like in the middle. I believe in keep people happy, and I get it. But here's the thing. We all got to be responsible for the decision that we make when we go on that vote and click that button. Okay. So we've got to accept the fact that if we go in and vote for President Biden and it doesn't turn out the way that we expect, hey, I did it. If you go in, God forbid if Donald Trump wins, okay, because you're going to be here by yourself like we told you earlier, because I'm going to be in Canada, all right? But admit to the fact that, oh, my God, we made a wrong decision. But at that point, be ready to say, I made the wrong decision, and not start blaming everybody, okay? This is one of the problems we got. We don't want to take responsibility for the decision that we make, even in our own households. But back to the system. So I really would love to hear from you guys. Here's a question of the night. Do you feel that President Biden is too feeble, okay, to be able to handle the position that's going on, okay? Do you think in that would you like to see a female president? I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, because it kind of piggybacks off of what Darnell was just saying today. So we got a few minutes. I'd love to hear from you guys. I really would. If you don't get it in or you're thinking about it, send us an email. Send an email.
I don't want him to lose the place no more. You done been from the back to the front. Don't worry.
Okay. Remember TT. I can put it up in a minute.
And what how much is it?
Show@gmail. Okay. Back to the point. So go ahead with what you were saying.
And also, I would like to add this little tidbit too. If you are evangelical and you are supporting, and if you're not an evangelical, I would like for you to do some research on Gerhard Kittel. Gerhard Kittel. He is a very important figure within the theologian world. Wow. What I'm trying to connect is evangelicals have a hand in this situation called endorsing Trump.
Right.
People tend to forget without the Christian right, you wouldn't have had National Socialism. Gerhard Kittel is one of the founders of he was a German theologian. He was one of the founders of one of the early evangelicals who gave Hitler the idea of genocide.
Wow. I'm sorry. Guys, you understand what type of information you're getting right now? The nuggets that are being dropped in your pathway right now. If you are whatever, if you're Democrat, pass this on to your Republican parties. If you are evangelical, understand what can happen. Stop praying and get your ass to work and study. Study more than the Bible. Okay, because you're missing out on the opportunity to know the information that God has put out here for you. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
If you want to know who this person is, if you got a paper, his name is Gerhard Kittel, Gerhard. Last name Kittel, Kittle. He would be a very important look up because we have evangelicals who really follow his doctrine.
Oh, wow.
And you have the Christian right to follow that doctrine of his writings of the New Testament.
Wow.
So if I were you and you are really trying to if you're an evangelical or you're not an evangelical, but I would like for you to do research on this man, because this is the reason why we had the Holocaust. And we will have another Holocaust. another evangelical group who are endorsing right-wing racist rhetoric, and they are endorsing Trump. I don't know about. Okay, Susan said I don't know about Biden, but wouldn't a replacement for him be someone that the people voted as the Democratic nominee? I don't understand how someone can just take the place of Biden. Me either, Susan.
Right.
Me either. I don't understand anybody who would take the place of Biden. You're right. We should vote on that, Miss Susan. And and as an American, I would be angry. I would be disappointed, and plus, I would be shocked. And I hate to say this, but the Democrats, their PR system, and I've been saying it from the very beginning, is whack. Why would you throw away the bath water? Why would you do that?
Out of the bath water?
Well, that too, yeah, but I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to offend nobody. But why would you do that? Because at the end of the day, Biden wants to lead. And if he wants to lead, let him lead. But that tells everybody you have no faith. It's like in the Bible with Moses. It's the children of Israel didn't have that much faith in Moses to lead them out of Egypt because of his stutter. Because of his stutter. So God gave the gift of he gave his brother. Who was it? Was it Aaron? Aaron gave his brother Aaron the task to speak for Moses.
Yes, absolutely.
And Moses did what God had told him to do, was to lead his people out of the promise to the promised land. And that is the problem with Americans. We have lost faith.
What were you saying?
It's not always faith. It is wisdom. Biden, we know Biden was once I ain't gonna lie. He was once a racist. He was
but you're gonna get the cash back.
And you know what? It took him
when you check out, they're gonna give you the cash back.
Darnell?
Yes.
Mute yourself. I'm sorry. Mute yourself.
Good.
Biden has come through an evolution.
Yes, he has.
Biden was once an ignorant man, ignorant and racist to his politics and to his ideas.
Yes.
But it took for him to work up underneath an intelligent Black president to understand that what he believed in was wrong and that he must make a change. Wisdom sometimes take home over the age. But what Biden needs to understand is Biden needs to get out and get himself in the vineyard and really work his butt off. Because if he doesn't get in there and get those young people motivated, then I'm sorry, he has already lost. You have lost the youth vote. So Biden, like I say, Biden has a lot of work on his hands right now. He has did a lot for this country. But he just got to connect with the people.
You've got to find a way to maintain it and maintain everything and connect. And we've been saying that all along. And Darnell, I'm going to show you a point of this. You know, we have been saying that all along. I mean, there's too many avenues that his face should be showing up on a regular basis. You got YouTube, you got X, you got what's all the other ones out there? You know, of course, you got X is Twitter, you got Instagram. Instagram to the point that the company I work for, they have invested in Instagram enough to show their commercials on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And I've been talking about this for months. I said, why is it that President Biden is not showing himself on Instagram? Why is he not? As people are flip. Why is he not on TikTok? Why is he not on TikTok? Why is he not on TikTok? The
because he's old school.
Way of communication that people are getting their information is from TikTok. All he had to do is stand and look at the camera and say, "Vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me." You know, and do the vote for me dance. Okay, Trump get on there going.
If Franklin Delano Roosevelt believed in those fireside chats to get us over during the Great Depression, Biden should be using TikTok like it is his fireside chat. Because it is so important right now to get the message across to Americans who are so ignorant to the facts. Because we got these phones on hand. Darnell got his phone on him. We all got these.
But this is the thing. You have to think about this though, darling. The man is 100. He's almost 100 years old. And the only reason why the thing about it is this. Only reason why he go on and do social media, be on the online, is if it's something that has to do political that they have him to do. That was kind of just like President Obama. People didn't know that he actually had social media until he got out of the office. So he was never visible on social media or whatever the case would be. And I think what the problem is this. I think that the country is actually giving him entirely too much grief or whatever the case may be, because at the end of every day, half of the grief that we're giving him, we didn't give Trump while he was in office.
No, we
right. That's true. That's
So
true.
that's why I tell people, if you're not gonna give, it was good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you ain't gonna give, y'all didn't give him Trump grief, then shut up talking about Trump while Biden now in the discussion.
Right. Okay.
Where,
You know, and very good point about what you were saying about that. But here again, where is our solution to, or at least a help source of the solution to help people? Again, like we were talking about evolving, we're talking about navigating your life in America. We know that we're like this. I still think that we're more on the Democratic side versus on the Republican side, because there's just a lot of stuff going on. And then not getting into the legislature, that's a whole other conversation. But the legislation of the Republican Party is turning away the youth that has a more open perspective of their life, and I think that is one of the things that is going to stop the voting from the youth on that side.
Well, they're now trying to up the age in voting and registering to vote.
Oh my God! So they're trying to keep the youth out.
Well, that too.
Okay.
I also heard through the grapevine that the federal vote for the vote for being for president,
right,
is only going to go for those who are actual Americans. Now, I'm not against that. I'm not, because I don't believe in. I don't like people scamming the system.
Right.
But when you say real Americans, what do you mean? See, that has me triggered a little bit, because you have people who have certain ideas of what a real American should look like. And I'm sorry, you got those who believe that, there are certain Americans that only should have the right to vote. Right. And that is male and that is white.
Right. Wow.
And that's still there. That agenda is still there. White and male should only vote. Not anybody else is out of the race.
Right.
So when people are saying those things, that when they're making new laws saying, well, you know what, I want real Americans, you should be asking them, what is your definition of a real American?
Highlighted point, and I liked what you just said a second. I want to equate this into this, and this is for our females and our typically our Caucasian females and things of that nature. And I want to go back to that graduation speech that clown gave. Okay, and it has been the catalyst of a lot of conversations that have gone on, and what I've seen through some of these other interviews, and they've gotten these certain elements of women together to have this conversation about what he said, and I heard some of the most ridiculous things that these women, and they tend to be younger women, have said. They thought it was kind of okay, the fact that they would be treated the way that they were in this servitude position. Okay, to be barefoot and pregnant, if you want to go back to the old way of saying things. And I'm like, where are you going? Where is your mind? Okay, I get it, ladies. Okay, I get it. And that's something that we can talk about in future shows. I get it that in the nature, you want to be protected. You want to be cared for. You want to be all these things. And because of that's happening, you find yourself being subservient to your mate. I don't want to say husband, because the husband's not going to do that to you, okay? But subservient to the mate that you decided to be connected to. You made that decision. Okay, to be able to, because your intent of hope is to bring something out of that, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't really move itself in that type of way of thinking. I do agree that families are at a despairing point. I do believe that, yes, mothers and dads are not raising their children. That's another conversation, a deep one for us out there. That's not what we can have on a future show. But the point here is that don't be fooled, ladies. Don't be fooled about something going, because it's called control. Okay. And if you have to give up your control as a woman, okay, to who you are, you need to get out of it before it gets started. I'm telling you.
And watching the Nicole Brown story,
there you go, exactly.
The Nicole Brown Simpson documentary that I saw of Lifetime. Now, you want your rights to be taken away, just like he said. Watch that documentary and see how one girl's life decision at the age of 18, and I'm just saying this to be real with you, not to be funny, but at the age of 18, wanting to be a what they call a home actual wife who was taking care for her. She had no career, she had no job, she couldn't make her own decisions. You see what happened towards the end of her life because she had to deal with so much crap with a man who was all he was doing was beating her, making money, but beating her on the side. And actually, I believe he might have did what he did. But that's another situation because we know, you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
But that is the idea of what it looks like for a woman to not have power over her body and no rights.
Right. And if you cannot understand, I know we just kind of went down this vein, but it just comes as a warning. Okay, it comes as a warning.
No cold.
I'm finna be Charles tonight, real quick. Since he ain't, I'm finna devil advocate, real quick.
Go ahead,
so this is the thing on what you stated, or whatever the case would be. The kicker part about it is this: that was a decision she made. Decisions that we make is things that we can make, we can unmake. She decided to be there. She stayed as long as she should. She stayed. So at the end of every day, I hate the fact that she's not here, and then what happened to her, but I don't feel no sympathy for her because at the end of every day, she stayed. She had the option to walk away, but she stayed. She wanted to be in the fame. She wanted the money. She wanted all that. And I think a lot of the things that they stated in the documentary, a lot of it was fabricated because at the end of every day, if that was the case, why now, all these many years, you want to turn around and vindicate her?
Well, yeah.
You should have vindicated her many years ago.
I said that. I know we don't want to open up a can of worms about that, but very good, very good. But I said the same thing. I think it was just ridiculous. I think that when he transitioned, died, went over, whatever y'all want to call where he went, because y'all believe he didn't go wherever he went. But and
I hate to go down this rabbit hole too, but I just want to add this too, not to be funny, but if I would have been in her shoes, you know what I would have did? Befriend that black family of his, because let me tell you what that would have opened up for me. It would have opened up some ideas to how to handle that food. Right. Number one, you make a pot of grits, and I'm talking to those who are in a situation of abuse. Right. You get up out that bed and you make breakfast, and you make sure that grits is hot as hell, and you say good morning, and you toss those grits in the bed, toss it, and get the hell out, because that's the way you have to handle shit like that, because you just don't stay in no house and have somebody beat up on you every day because they taking care of you. Yeah, because they want you. That's crazy. Go keep going.
Thank you for saying that point, right? But realistically, I mean, it and this is something maybe we can pick up and kind of explore a little bit deeper, on next week's show, because there are so many women in America that are in abusive situations and they don't understand why they can't get out. But the question is, and then this is the question we're going to leave with you this week: why and how did they get there? Okay. Why and how did they get there? That goes into their being raised, what they've experienced, what they saw.
It's reality television. You got housewives. Yeah. You got celebrity housewives that are sitting at home doing nothing but living off of their husbands and making businesses off of their husbands' namesake. But that is what they're seeing, and that's the idea that they want to live. Wow.
Like I said, that's something we can. I mean, you can unpack again. We'll dig in this because this is still about. This is about what we're talking about here.
Navigating America.
Navigating your life in America. This is all a part about navigating life in America. Okay, what we discussed tonight, navigating life in America. What Darnell brought, navigating life in America. Where do you find yourself in the midst of this? Are you pulling yourself out of it? Are you making a good decision or moving toward making a good decision on your life, as well as the candidate that you're going to support in November? All right. You know where we stand about it, but hey, you got the freedom to do what you want to do. But the main thing is, please use your option to vote. Women, y'all better have y'all ass to poll when the first thing opens. Okay. I'm serious. Okay. Because it's just too much that has been impacting the women this year. And I would say way too much. And then for the majority of women to sit back with their arms folded, letting this stuff keep going, I don't know why.
But Miss Susan is not one of those women, because she has made it vocal that she doesn't understand where they're getting this rhetoric from. And Miss Susan, we are with you on that. We don't know where they're getting this rhetoric from either.
Right.
So I'm with Miss Susan on
Yes,
this.
absolutely. Thank you, Susan, for chiming in tonight. Good to see you. Susan has been one of our guests on the show.
Yeah.
She's Avon Fox. She's been on the show with us. So good to see you tonight. Susan chiming in. But anyway, Darnell, thank you for dropping in tonight. I hope you'll be back in your seat totally next week.
And Fanny made
Yes.
the job. You miss her Star Spangled Banner.
Oh yes, I did. I saw it.
But we're glad you took time out tonight. I know you travel trying to deal with family issues and things of that nature. But thank you for being here. Charles, we'll see you back in place next week, same time as well. Time out. Guys, we love y'all. We love you much. And use this platform. Okay, to encourage, to elevate, to educate. Okay, to encourage, to elevate, and to educate. And to make yourself more wealthy in mind, so you can be wealthy in spirit and you can be wealthy in your life. Thank you for tuning into what? The truth behind the truth. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.